Welcome to the Sprig podcast, your source for the most relevant topics in pediatric dentistry. I'm your host, Dr. Jared Johnson. Today, our topic is on one of your most valuable digital assets that you actually own. We've talked before on the podcast that you don't own Google, you don't own social media such as Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Your website is the most important asset you own online, and having an important online presence is imperative to the success of your practice. Today on the podcast, I have Mr. Kayvan Mott. He is a graduate from UCLA Business School, and he is a co-founder of DocSites.com. Welcome on the show today, Kayvan.
Thank you so much, Jared, for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So I don't know if you know this about me, but I actually did make a few mistakes. So I actually built my own website, and it's not the greatest, but I did a startup. And at the time, I didn't want to invest a lot of money. So it's actually a WordPress site with a theme and some plugins that came in. But what actually happened was I got hacked because I didn't have proper security. So there are some things, just a funny story, that I had to go back, and I was on a blacklist for a while. But why is it important to have someone help you with your website? And, obviously to not make the mistake I did, but why is it important to, number one, have a website and have someone make it presentable and help you with it?
Well, you bring up a great point, which is if you think of your website, it's the heart of all your marketing, right? Whether you're doing ads here, or you're doing postcards, or even if someone gets referred to your practice, the first place everyone goes on nowadays is online. So they're going to Google you, and all roads will lead back to your website. It's the one thing that you really have the most control over to showcase who you are and what makes you different, and what makes your practice unique. So that's really important starting point. And the reason why you want to get help and professional help is simply because of stories like this. We've heard it so many times again where someone tries to do it themselves. And again, everyone has good intentions, right? But you end up falling into things like security issues, or many people who have come to DocSites to get help with their websites because previously maybe they bartered services with a patient, right? Or their front desk manager's daughter knows websites, quote unquote. But the reason why it's really important to work with a professional is because dentistry, and specifically pediatric dentistry, is very unique, right? You need to understand what's important to that decision maker, that mom, that dad making that decision when they're looking for a dentist. And if you just decide to do it yourself or hire a one-off person, you might be losing out on a lot of important design and otherwise like features that a website needs to be successful nowadays. And you don't want to leave that to chance.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Just an example of that is if you were to get on Wix and do your own website, if you're going to get on GoDaddy or Bluehost, and obviously you can install a WordPress and have a fancy looking website pretty quickly. But one common mistake that someone might make when doing that is actually making their email available. You want to have a contact us form so that you can collect the person who's filling out the contact us form's email so that you can remarket to them. So that's just one little kind of trick. You see it all the time. If you're looking for a plumber, an electrician, they have a contact. So you don't get their email because they want to get your email, contact you through, use that email to remarket to you on when you're on other channels. And it's just so amazing, the technology these days to have people remarket. If you're looking at something on your phone, you're going to start seeing that their website pop up, and you can do the same thing with your dental website. It's really, really amazing. And you've talked about that it's your most valuable asset. And I totally wholeheartedly agree with you, because that's what you want to drive traffic to. That's what's going to help you capture leads and get people to call you. But what are some important design factors? There's just so many things that go into it.
And great question. Great question. And this is really what separates, right, a great website from one that is not. If you think about it, even before we get into it, what is the one thing in business and in life that we only have one shot at? You don't get a second chance, that is, and it's your first impression, right? Your website is giving someone that mom or that dad who's deciding to come to you a first impression. So, what are some of the essential elements that your website needs in order to be successful, right? And stand out and make the most impact. So, we'll go through a couple of these. One is personalized photos and videos. These are key, right? So many people are going to come to you because you are the business, right? We've been working with a pediatric dentist for a really long time. And, the social media posts and the photos that we post that have their staff featured in those videos, those always get more engagement because the end user, the mom, the dad, even the kids know that's what they're walking into. So number one, first and foremost, make sure, regardless who's doing your website, you utilize personalized photos of yourself, of your staff, videos, and things of that sort. Secondly, did you know the most important and visited page on a website, other than the homepage, is always the doctor's bio page? Why is that important? Think about it. If I'm bringing, my kids to come see you, I want to know who you are, right? And a lot of dentists have a website already, but their bio page is not filled out, or they have a photo from the 1980s, right? Or maybe they're certified in certain things to do certain procedures, but none of that's highlighted. So secondly, make sure that your bio page is updated and really puts the best foot forward. Another essential element, especially nowadays, and again, while we're doing this recording, COVID is still really, at the forefront, a lot of people's minds of safety. So if I were in a room right now and ask every dentist in the room, how many of you are practicing COVID protocols? 100% of the dentists would raise their hands. But if I said, well, how many of you are communicating that on your website? Maybe 10% would actually raise their hands. And that's really important, right? Because safety and COVID safety is important. So make sure that your website has somewhere where you're communicating, hey, here's what we're doing for COVID safety. Here's what we're doing to keep you and our staff safe. People really want to know that. And again, it's where a lot of dentists are falling short. Another thing, and we were discussing this, Jared, before, is, with pediatric dentistry, there's a lot of specific services that a mom or dad is looking for. For example, frenectomies, right? Lip-tied, tongue-tied treatment. So if your website actually does not have a page highlighting that treatment or that service, you're at a disadvantage versus your competitor down the street. Because nowadays, people are looking for exactly what they want. A mom who needs a tooth-colored crown for her kid, she's not going to search for a dentist on Google. She's going to literally go in there and put tooth-colored crown for kids, near me. And again, if you have a website that, maybe you made or someone else did, and it doesn't have those features and those elements highlighting those services, you're not even going to show up in the first place. So that's really key. And then, a couple other points is, if you have a special offer, you want to make sure you're highlighting that. Some people have laser treatment. Some people actually specialize in kids with special needs, right? You want to make sure all those things are being highlighted in an area that's at the forefront of your website. And lastly, what I would say is a really, really important part that I see day in and day out, dentists make this mistake is this. So I come to Google or I go to Yelp and I get referred to you, and I look you up and you have 155-star reviews. They look amazing, right? They look good. But when I come on your website, do you know how many reviews I often see for these dentists? 0. And the reason is because they're not doing a good job of placing those reviews on the website. So one of the things that we do differently here at DocSites is we like to actually embed the positive reviews directly from Yelp and directly from Google to showcase, your best reviews and make sure that people are seeing that. That's what's going to make them pick up the phone and call. So those are some of the essential elements, I would say, that are necessary to have a successful practice website.
Yeah, you really hit on a lot of things. If you think about marketing, so if you're looking at Google AdWords and what's going to be your higher spend, your highest spend on Google Ads is going to be kids dentist near me, pediatric dentist near me. Those are the words that are way down in the funnel. So what you're talking about with the services is like, for example, Sprig crowns. So you offer those at your office and you have a service page, and that mom goes and Googles, white crowns near me for kids' teeth, or why aren't kids' teeth or crowns for kids' teeth white? You just ranked #1 in your local SEO area, and you didn't spend a dime. They're not looking for the dentist at that point. So it's just, you got to have something for every single service that you offer as a dentist, emergencies, extractions. Just have a page on your website for that, and that will help you as well. I really liked what you talked about, as well as the About Us page. I probably need to update mine, but if you think about it, most of the dentists we all graduated from dental school, right? We all are pediatric dentists. We have a certificate or a master's in pediatric dentistry. We're all probably members of the ADA and AAPD, and these are like so what factors. Like, if everyone else is the same as you, what's differentiating you? And I think it's important, like you said, to if you have a hobby, maybe I need to probably update mine, but add some pictures of you doing the things you love. Make it more personable, like you had said, with not just using a stock image or, your professional headshot. I think I've got one of me and my family, but just make things whatever you're comfortable with. I know it's hard to get out there as a dentist, but that really makes a difference. I try to stay up to date on social media for our office and just post things that I'm doing that I enjoy doing that relate to what's listed on my website. So I really love that you brought kind of those topics up. One thing that also you might run into, like if you're doing a DIY or you have, someone's front desk's daughter doing it, is your website might not be mobile friendly. And I think I don't remember the stat, but it's almost like 80% of people access your website on their phone. Is that correct?
That's key. Yeah. And that number is just going up more and more. And again, as business owners, a lot of times what ends up happening is you're just on the set it and forget it model, right? You're paying your web company or you're paying your marketing company, and you never have a chance to look and review. And the way we grew our business and we were able to help dentists actually like all over the nation was, when trade shows were a thing, we would go to trade show and talk to a dentist and very simply say, can we see your website and just compare what you have and what we have? And here's a big important difference is when you as the business owner, as the dentist, can see, oh yeah, my mobile version doesn't have a click to call. Oh yeah, my mobile version of my website doesn't even have a request an appointment button. It's hidden, right? When you could see those things and someone shows that to you, you're then more likely to take action and do something to change that website, to improve that website, because you can understand it and see it, for yourself. And mobile is huge. Everything is headed towards mobile. And again, if you haven't had a chance to, you can always reach out to us at DocSites. We offer a complimentary strategy session where we could show you on a screen share what's working for you and where you have some room for improvement. Because, the fact is, if you don't know what's missing or where your missed opportunities are, it's just going to be, the same thing. You're never going to have a chance to improve upon it.
Yeah, I can't imagine how many people right now are picking up their phone and typing in the website to check to see if they've got the click to schedule an appointment. And, it's just kind of interesting that you said that, because that's, something that's really important to be able to, you've got them there. You want to capture that lead. You want to make it so they can book their appointment, come see you, and then come get the dentistry that they need. And you can profit from it definitely as well. Some things people might be wondering about is style and appearance. Like, how do you work with your clients to decide what style is going to best fit their office? Obviously, if you're in California in a ritzy area, you're going to want a little different kind of style than here in the Midwest in Iowa. How do you decide on a style and a fit? I mean, you're the expert here with design and marketing. What's the best way to go about that with your client?
So at DocSites, we actually utilize designs that we've made specifically for dentists and dental practices. So we have a series of designs that we know are best practices, right? They're always going to give you what you need. For example, they're SEO friendly, they're mobile friendly. They're going to come optimized for your services. Every website will have a new patients page. That's important because guess where the eye of the new patient comes, right? When they come to your website, they're going there. So with DocSites, you're always going to have those essential elements, everything discussed on this podcast there. Now, where we can add the personalization is really where it brings it to life and makes it different. I was actually just sharing with one of our clients and showing them with a few personalized photos of the staff and videos on the homepage. It literally makes it seem like it's a brand new website, because again, the personalized factor. So what we do is we take, our designs and templates that we know are proven, and we do all the work to personalize it. That includes, adding photos of the staff, adding office tour photos. Maybe your practice has a membership plan, right? We're gonna mention those features on there. Maybe you actually have a color scheme and a logo that you want to match, your office and your operatory. So we do all the personalization for you to really make sure that it's unique and personalized, not only in the look and feel, but again, what makes you different? Like you mentioned, Jared, you have these certifications, right? And you're part of these associations. I almost guarantee a lot of dentists are not even mentioning that, or if someone offers, the simple crown or the easy crown, right? They work with Sprig. I know they have unique types of crowns that they offer, the tooth color, the white crowns. Like, it's best to communicate that and show that on the website because a lot of your competitors are not. So anything you can do to personalize it, which again, we do all for you, really is going to make you stand out and get the most from your website.
Yeah, a lot of the content pages that you've talked about, I mean, we've touched on having reviews on there, talking about your team, having a locations page, a page for every service you offer, patient resources can be important too and that can be really included in your blog, which can be an addition to your website as well. And then you touched also a little bit on some call to actions, like a new patient special, or what are some kind of things that get layered over the top of the website that you've seen be successful in converting someone on the webpage to pick up the phone or booking online?
Great question. So a couple of things. One, you want to make sure that you highlight reviews on your homepage, especially if you have great reviews on Google and Yelp, depending on the area that you're in. So you want to make sure on the homepage you have those reviews highlighted. Number two, have a section where it says special offers and make sure those can be easily seen, right? And on those special offers, it could be anything from a new patient special, right? Or you can provide discounts or anything like that, but those will get clicked. We also discussed having a new patients page, right? We've seen from building hundreds of websites, when you have a page that's titled new patients, guess where the eye of that visitor goes? It's going to go there. One of our clients, who's a pediatric dental practice in Southern California, she's doing really, really well, and she gets a lot of attention on her new patients page. So what we've done strategically is put all the important things that we want a prospective new patient to know on that new patients page. So if you were to actually go on her new patients page, what we did to personalize it, one, put a slideshow of some of her staff and herself photos, just so you can get an idea of who they are. Number two, we put a quote, like a very sincere quote from the doctor herself. Number three, we highlighted some of the positive reviews. Number four, we actually put a new patient special. And number five, we discussed financing and care credit and some of the things that people want to know. So imagine having a page where everything you would probably want to know, right, as a mom bringing in their son or daughter for a checkup or a first-time visit, all of that listed on one page. And again, we do all this work at DocSites to personalize it for you, but those are some key elements that we see really work well to help convert and get more phone calls for the practice.
Lastly here, as we kind of wind down, this is really difficult for a lot of people to understand. I think it's just, especially me as a dentist, is how do you determine, we didn't go to school to be a business person or marketer. How do you determine the return on investment that someone makes with, you know, redoing their website? It's such a daunting task, but that's something that you don't look at on a day-to-day basis. How do you guys measure when you take a client in where they were at before and where they are after? Are there certain metrics that you're looking at to figure out what's working for them and why that investment was such a great investment for them?
That's a great question. And here's where DocSites is different than a lot of other companies. We don't believe in inundating your inbox with a bunch of reports and analytics that just simply don't make sense, right? Because we all know as the practice owner, you're juggling so many things already. So it's like simplicity is always the best. So the real KPI and metric that matters is when new patients come in, are you asking them, how did you hear about us? And most people have an intake form. That's really the best way to measure, right? So if you're getting more responses like Google, we heard about you from Google, the internet, your website, online. If you're hearing more and more of that trending upwards, great. It's working, and that's a worthwhile, investment, right? Of course, you can do the call tracking. Of course, you can, look at how many email submissions come in. But let's be honest, at the end of the day, we want to know how many new patients this is generated, right? That's the metric that matters for everyone, really. Again, what's also really important in that, discussion is a lot of times doctors, when they're paying for marketing, and I ask them, do you know what you're paying for, or how much you're paying? One, a lot of them don't even know how much they're paying. And number two, unfortunately, a lot of doctors can't answer the question of what they're paying for, with their marketing. And so when they come to DocSites, and why a lot of dentists switch over to DocSites for their website and marketing, is the transparency. So you can very clearly see for the amount you're paying, how many blog posts we do, how many, social media posts we do. And the reason why that matters is you can see it'll take some time for you to get more phone calls and more traffic, but at least you can see every month when you're putting money into your marketing, where those marketing dollars going. So that transparency is key. And if you're at a place where you say, hey, I don't know what I'm paying for, I don't know what I'm getting, this might be the absolute best time to reach out to us. You can visit DocSites.com, pick up the phone and call, and we'd be happy to do a complimentary just review of what you have going on, so you can see where you can improve. Because the biggest and most expensive mistake, Jared, I see dentists make when it comes to their marketing is the whole set it and forget it mentality. You can't treat your website or marketing like it's insurance. Pay it once a month or once a year and never look back at it. So if you can, it's going to give you the best chances to really do something about it.
I agree. When I started out, like I said, I did all this on my own. Then I hired a company, and there were a lot of things I didn't realize. But one of the most important things I did realize is that this is a marathon for SEO and your website. It's not a sprint. It's not something that someone can just jump on and fix it all and forget it. You're right. It's got to be something that you do. We have a blog post every month. That's really important, because then I can take those blog posts, and it's really easy for me to put a quarterly newsletter together when I've got 3 blog posts that I can send out to my patients. And it all ties back in what you're doing on social media, email marketing, on your website. It's just all is so imperative that you have all this in one package, so that way you can stay top of mind and reach those recall patients that you want to come back in, get those new patients in the door that are looking for a specific service. So it's really great. I think what's cool also about DocSites is it's not like, this is our price, here's what you get. You have different layers of service. And I think that's really important, because when you look at building a website, it can be, thousands of dollars, and it's a big investment. You've got quite a few different packages that you offer based on people's budget. And I think that's really important for people to know as well. It's just like you talk about financing for a dentist on their website. It's the same thing with you. Can you get into some of the packages and just some of the different things that you offer with those packages?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple different website options, 3 website options, as well as some optional monthly marketing packages. And the great thing is, if you visit DocSites.com, you could see them for yourself, and the pricing and examples are there. We have a standard website, which starts at $999, a one-time fee, a standard plus, which has some more features and benefits for $1,499, $1,499. And then we have our semi-custom or premier option, which is our top-of-the-line website with most personalization, and that's a one-time fee of $2,499, $2,499. Now, with all of these, the great thing is the monthly fee is the same. You can pick and choose what you'd like. Some practices say, hey, I get so many referrals to me, I just want a great website. For that person, a monthly fee can be as low as $59 a month, which includes your website hosting, your maintenance, and all the updates we do for you. All of that's bundled in one low rate, and the great thing is it stays at that price. For those who actually want to do a little bit more marketing, maybe they have a second location they're adding to their practice, or maybe things have gotten better for them, so they want to reinvest something into their marketing. We actually have very affordable and effective online marketing packages, and those range from about $99 a month to a little under $700 a month. And we do things for them like blog to help you get found on Google, optimize your Google My Business profile to help you get found locally, update your Facebook business page, and more. And again, we bundle all of that together with your website. So with all of those, your $59 is included. And best part is there's no contract with any of these. So everything is month to month, and you completely own your website domain as well.
Well, that's wonderful. How, if someone's interested in, I guess, doing the consult where they get on and you guys do a screen share and kind of go over where they can improve, where would someone go if they're interested in getting in contact with DocSites?
Yeah, absolutely. So you could go to DocSites.com. That's DocSites.com. It's just simply that, DocSites.com. And again, feel free to ask for Kayvan and let me know that you heard about us from this podcast, and I'll be happy to actually do the screen share and the review myself, and show you exactly, again, what you're doing well, because you want to know that, right? And keep doing what's working for you. And then secondly, where you have some room for improvement. And we'll go over both of those on that screen share.
Well, awesome. I appreciate you joining me on the show today, and it's been a pleasure discussing some of the ways that people can improve their online presence and marketing with their number one digital asset. So thank you again.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, everyone. And if there's anything I could do to support you or your practice, you can always reach out to me and visit DocSites.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to the Sprig podcast. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share on social media. If you have any questions or if you have a topic you would like to hear covered in a future episode, please email podcast@sprigusa.com.